Welcome to Atlanta Tarot. This is the tarot forecast for Pisces for the Sagittarian season 2019. So starting on the 19th of November, going right through to about the 19th of December. Cusp to cusp. So let's see messages for Pisces. Wow, Pisces, we have energy is the Two of Cups. Such a lovely card, a communion of souls. Soulmate card, but it also can mean just fitting hand in glove with an emotional outcome. Whatever that means for the particular individual Pisces listening, you can always adapt it to what is happening in your life. Some maybe not. However, there must be, or there may be, something you can take away from the messages, obviously, because it's your reading, Pisces. So we're moving into from water, Scorpio, into fire, Sagittarius. So the tempo is going to pick up as it does in fire signs. Things start to move forward, progress, action, and lots of energy therewith. Okay, let's see where you are right now, Pisces. The Magician. So in he comes, the spirit messenger. Just informing you that he comes in to allude to the potentials you have and the potentials for the situation that you find yourself in at the moment. With the Magician also, there is an amount of risk just on the side there. But that's life, isn't it? There's nothing without risk. Every new beginning or every new episode or chapter or book begins with risk and also a lot of potential here with the Magician. So he's the spirit messenger, as I said, so it's got that very strong spiritual overtone to it, which sort of comes from your feeling. How do you feel about a situation? How do you feel about embarking on a situation? It has good feelings. It has great potentials, but there, and I have to mention, there is risk involved as with anything that we do, Pisces. So this is lovely. So let's see how you got to be here with the influencing card or the crossing card. Now remember too, Pisces, this card extends all over the reading, so it affects every card in the 10 card spread. And we have the King of Cups. So the King of Cups, very masculine energy, emotional energy. Now, if we think about masculine versus emotional, it's quite an interesting story because a lot of our dear men folk tend to, the emotions are kept at bay. They're kept very much to a minimum. They usually just use, they use their practicality for most things. Emotions often with men are things that need to be kept out of view. But with this particular guy, the King of Cups, they're usually they can be quite overt too. They can be quite emotional for a male person. So sometimes when this card comes in, it sort of talks about that sort of character, that sort of masculine character that has got, an strong emotional edge to it, more than most of the other signs he has. He often can be seen too as he's like, if you can imagine, he's sort of your magician, your magician. He can be a musician, a counselor, one of those men that sort of really is in touch with his inner emotional side. Sometimes it can sort of overflow too, often. So whoever he is to you, Pisces, and because you're water signs as well, you'll be able to manage this situation with this particular person quite well, because you understand emotions. So yes, he could be a Pisces, a Cancer or a Scorpio male. And in keeping with the Two of Cups, yes, indeed, there's something about this person that has significance, and this sign that has significance for you this month or this season. The background of the situation is the Queen of Pentacles. So she is very much the grounded, earthy type of Mother Earth energy, very much the woman at home that has everything running like clockwork. She's got it all organised. She's very good with money. She's thrifty. She's everything. I often see her too, especially if there's soulmate energy around as well. I often see her as the one at home, the female at home. Now take from that what you will, but that's just how I've learnt to interpret this card over the years. The homemaker. Very solid, very practical. So she sits at the top of this reading. So it's quite interesting what's coming through already. Recent influences. Five of Cups. Interesting. The card of regret. The 5 obviously means change coming through. So somebody, I always see this too as somebody coming back from the past, someone from long ago, someone that there was an incomplete relationship with. There's still a lot of emotion attached to this situation and this person. Perhaps too because it was unresolved, so it was just left abruptly perhaps, or somebody left abruptly, and now, you know, the wheel is turned, and there we have this person perhaps reaching out again to sort of maybe apologise, something like that. But it can sort of create a bit of a conundrum with whoever we're talking about here, you know, especially if they're already partnered up with someone else. This can create a lot of sort of upheaval, really, and regret as well. So there you go, 5 of Cups. So what's happening with this? Maybe it is a past soulmate, indeed. That maybe, and I see it sort of very practically, maybe, you know, that person comes back in because they want to offer an apology or an explanation of what happened before, why it was left unresolved. Interesting, Pisces. So there's still something left of this relationship, something left that needs to be resolved, basically. Let's have a look at the lesson you'll be learning in Sagittarius season, Pisces. And there's the Emperor. So he who makes the rules, he who sort of puts the boundaries in, and very much that male masculine energy again. So he often comes in to say, oh, well, you know what? I don't know whether this is appropriate at this time. You've got to stick with the rules. You've got to stick with the boundaries. Because if you don't, there could be all sorts of upheaval that occurs because of it. Because it's very much sort of that strong, it's the Taurus energy. No, it's not the Taurus energy, sorry, it's the Aries energy, but there it is, the Emperor, very much controlling sort of a guy. Could be your father or somebody, you know, somebody that just sticks to the rule book. Near future. And the 10 of Swords, so the end of a family curse. So definitely there's coming in sort of second week of Sagittarius, we get this feeling coming in of a situation, often family situation or difficult situation that comes to an end. So you may well, and with this card it often means the end of that situation. So you can put it to bed, basically. And it has been difficult. So resolution once again. But being swords too, swords is a lot of that, you know, mind, head energy that sometimes, you know, just goes around and round. And here we have the resolution of that. So that's really quite comforting, isn't it, Pisces? What's happening that you're not realising? Sorry, it's just fallen on the floor. It's the Six of Wands, so, you know, success, victory. It's not the major card, it's a minor card, but it's just saying things will continue on well, things going well, things moving on well, feeling better about yourself and feeling like back on track, basically. So it's a really nice card to get. And it's sitting down here in what you don't realise. So after this difficult time coming to an end, there's a sigh of relief with this one, that everyone and everyone and everything gets back on track again. And things start moving forward again after a difficult time. Because there's resolution. Let's see how other people see you in this season, Pisces. Page of Wands, so good news is on the way. And it's the moving forward card as well, so it talks about, yeah, things getting a whole lot better, good news, moving forward, receiving good news and moving forward and being able to sort of get back to what's important, moving forward. The beginnings of course, with the page, it's always that beginnings of. He's quite bold and sort of things, new things start. Especially after difficult times, we're all happy when things start moving forward again. And don't forget too, Pisces, we've been in Mercury retrograde. Well, we're still in it as I'm talking today, but we're at the tail end of it, and we've had the full moon, so that's cleared up a lot of the intensity that was sort of led up to it in the time of Scorpio. So things back on track, moving, new ideas, lots of things moving forward. And this is how others see you. So the wands are coming in now, Pisces, the fire energy. What you're feeling positive about this season is the Chariot. So yes, moving forward. Emotional discipline is needed in order to move forward. So perhaps this emotional discipline was facing the weaknesses, facing the fact that a difficult time has come to an end. And finally you've put it to bed and you can start again. But it's a very powerful card, the Chariot. It belongs to Cancer, so another water sign. So it's already off it goes. I love it. It's just like off he goes into the wild blue yonder. But it's like you take a road trip. Before the road trip was entered into, you would sort of take your car and get it serviced. And this is what it's asking you. Just sort of, you know, learn from what's happened, learn from the mistakes, the situation, and the disciplines of what has happened. And once that's been done, you can move forward really quickly, and it's very advantageous for you. On to the next. The outcome of the Sagittarian season is Eight of Swords. So feeling tied up, feeling imprisoned, feeling entrapped by something. So the mind gets involved again, Pisces. Don't let this happen, because you're not people who solve you're emotional people. You don't solve things with logic. You solve your problems with emotion and intuition. So, you know, you might feel like you're looking in the mirror and seeing that, but it's not the fact. It's not the case, is it really, if you have a look? It's just loosening yourself out of that entrapment. Very interesting. So it's really important that Chariot, you do sort of work on that emotional discipline. Right, I'm just using my Visconti Major Arcana cards for some clarification. We'll do one on the Five of Cups, obviously. Someone reaching out from the past emotionally, the Ten of Swords, and the Eight of Swords. Because swords, I feel, always need the clarification, just to sort of put your mind at ease, as it were. Oh, excuse me. Okay, so what's underneath the surface of this Five of Cups with the Major Arcana? The Emperor. The beautiful Empress, so the rules. Okay, yes, that Five of Cups has come in, but there again, you take it as being, okay, right, look, this is quite an emotional time. Yeah, it's unresolved, but I've got to stick to the rules. I've got to sort of do what's necessary by the book. There's no point in going, you know, jumping into something that's sort of from the past. It's about sort of keeping yourself on the track, keeping yourself within the boundaries that you know that sort of makes sense to you with the Emperor. Let's see what is underneath the Ten of Swords. So the family curse coming to an end. We have the Wheel of Fortune, so very much destiny. Destiny has come through, and what I'm getting to, Pisces, is it is well and truly solved, and you've kind of paid back that debt. It's taken a while to come back around, but now you can finally move on and say, yes, it's done, it's sorted, everything's as it should be now, and I'm feeling better about it. I can just get back on with my life and what's coming next. There's a sense of a relief too when the wheel comes in, because it is that universal destiny card with, yeah, well, destiny is destiny, but it's what you do about it too, because we all have free will. So this is well aspected for you. And Pisces are very emotional, sensible people. Okay, final card that we're going to clarify is the Eight of Swords, so that entrapment card. Pisces, let's see what's underneath that, what's sort of really rattling the cage, your cage, about sort of feeling entrapped yet again with something. The Fool. So the Fool is new journeys beginning, so you can move forward, you can get out of that feeling of being, your power being taken away. You've done it. You've got destiny here. You've got the Wheel of Fortune. You've absolutely finished it. It's done. You know, it's been struck off the list. Karmic debt. So you can move forward quite easily and freely, knowing that you won't get into the same situation again. Because often with swords, it's just communication, and it's how people say things and what they promise and what's real and what isn't, because words can be really amazingly powerful, but they can sometimes be used to manipulate a situation. But with this card, Pisces, I see you really sort of setting off on a new journey, the next lesson. Thanks so much for listening, Pisces. See you next time.